Amidst the tragic news of family separation, the community is coming together to advocate and support immigrant families. Plus, Atlanta County Department of Health is seeking your help to learn more about your health needs. And we explore what an adult daycare is all about. It's all here on the next Latino Motion. Join us.
Choose to get lost in the woods to gain experience in forest management.
Choose to travel through time to understand the past.
Choose to soar to pursue a career in dance.
Stockton University offers 50 high-quality academic programs, small class sizes, and affordable tuition. Choose to match your interests and talents at one of New Jersey's nationally ranked universities.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation, and Stockton University. This edition of Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is brought to you by the HD Studios at the campus of Stockton University. Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, a member of Geisinger, Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world, and South Jersey Gas. Welcome to Latino Motion, a weekly interview show highlighting issues impacting New Jersey's Latino community while advancing understanding of Latino cultural heritage and contributions to our society. And here is your host, Bert Lopez.
Buenos dias and welcome to Latino Motion. Amidst the tragic news of family separations at the border and potential of it taking place here in our own communities, members of the community have come together to stand up for immigrant families. Joining me is Pastor David Delaney and Irvin Moreno to discuss this effort here locally. Gentlemen, welcome to Latino Motion.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. And Dave, I'm going to start with you and talk about the event, the vigil that just took place in Atlanta City, the Lights of Liberty. Tell me about that.
It was a remarkable coming together of community. About 3 weeks ago, Cassandra Schober sent me a message and said, "Do you know about this Lights for Liberty?" I said, "I don't know what it is." I went online. There was one in part of Philadelphia and only one in Jersey City in New Jersey. So I said, let's do this. And partnering with the Hispanic Association of Atlantic County, we got great cooperation from Atlantic City's elected leaders. We were able to pull together an incredible event with an hour-long program with a half-hour music beforehand that brought out hundreds of people to Atlantic City who said, we are not going to cage the children anymore. We're not going to allow them to be in detention centers. We're going to keep families together and stand up for justice.
It was a beautiful message, and I know, Irvin, you were one of the speakers, and you yourself, who were born here but have immigrant parents. Tell me about how you felt about that event.
So with all the rhetoric going on, all the rhetoric that you hear every day against immigrant communities, immigrant people, you get flustered, you get angry, and ultimately you get sad. You get saddened by the situation. And so that Friday, when we saw hundreds of people from the South Jersey area come together to remember, to love, to show support, it really told me a different story about our community and our community's understanding of the entire situation. And it really changed my perspective on what we can do to fight against these injustices at the border.
And I know, Dave, when I spoke at that event, one of the first things I said is, I feel the love. It wasn't just the Latino community, certainly a lot of Anglos that were there helping to embrace immigration, the immigrant families as well. Tell me what your takeaway was from this event.
I agree with Irvin. I think it was important that families came out, that brought their kids. I said that night, any young person who is under the age of 17 or 18 will remember July 12th in Atlantic City for the rest of their lives. No, we didn't change the world at that event, but all of a sudden people know that you can step out in public and say, this is wrong. Our country is doing an injustice that we should be ashamed of, and that our elected leaders need to hear that the public is ready to speak out.
Irvin described that moment when you were lighting the candles and when all the candles were lit, it was around 9 o'clock at that time, and it was just a beautiful setting. What was going through your mind at that time?
Well, I'd like to preface that, in the news you hear about, unfortunately, migrant children, migrant adults dying in U.S. custody at detention centers. And so whenever we hear these news, there's a public outcry. But no one really has the opportunity to digest that death, to remember the actual human being that passed away. And that night, as I was lighting those candles, I thought about the migrant children that have died. I thought about the adults that have passed away, unfortunately. And it's not just because of some, heart attack or stroke. They're killing themselves. This is suicide in these detention centers that our government is responsible for, and they're not taking action.
Let's talk about the rapid response. I know there's a lot of fear on the community, but the Hispanic Association, I know you're part of the advocacy committee for the association and a member. What are the things that are taking place right now to help support immigrants?
So currently, the Hispanic Association of Atlantic County has activated a rapid response team in Atlantic City, and the Atlantic County area. So what that team is going to do is, if we get any sort of tip through our hotline numbers, we will respond. We will be there as witnesses. We will be there as advocates. Of course, there's a certain danger to what we are doing, and there's a certain line that we cannot cross, unfortunately, but we will be there to witness what is going on, and obviously to deal with the after effects of ICE coming into a community.
And a big part of this is educating the community about their rights. So tell me about that effort. I know building the cards that spell out their rights. We also have some sessions coming up to spell out what those rights are.
Of course. So one thing that we did at the vigil is we actually handed out Know Your Rights cards. And what they're business size cards, and what they detail is basically what you should do in the event that ICE shows up at your door or you get stopped in a vehicle by ICE agents. And so it's really simple, because the rights of immigrants, whether documented or undocumented, are protected by our Constitution. They're not changing. They don't change for any particular group. But it's pretty simple, those rights. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Of course, ICE agents cannot come into your home unless they have a warrant signed by a judge. A lot of time, ICE shows up at your door. They try to trick you into opening the door, and they try to show you a paper, an official document that looks very official, that's signed by an ICE agent.
Very important work that you're doing. Certainly, Dave, thank you for putting that event together. We want to talk more about this at some other date. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have, and always have some workshops that will be coming up, and we'll be in touch with those. Thank you so much, and please stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. Determining the health needs of the community is critical in helping to address those needs. Pat Diamond and Diane McDevitt are here to share what the Atlantic County Division of Public Health is doing in this regard. Ladies, welcome to Latino Motion.
Thank you for having us on, Bert.
So let's talk about this health survey, trying to determine what the health needs are of the community. Why is this important?
We periodically conduct a survey, which is a series of questions that we ask our adult residents, and it helps us determine the health needs in our community. We want to make sure people have access to health promotion programs. As a public health agency, we like to see people live a healthy lifestyles, really to prevent them from getting ill. We recognize sometimes they may need to access the healthcare system, but they're less likely if they eat fruits and vegetables, exercise periodically, and we want to make sure that they have access to them and find out perhaps ways in which they do not and what we can do about that.
So you did a survey 5 years ago. How has that helped? Is there a program that maybe you adjusted because of that survey?
Yeah, from the survey, the last survey, we found that one of the big concerns were breastfeeding support. We found through the survey that the community members didn't think there was enough support or resources. They were going back to work. They didn't have, support for breastfeeding. So part of what Atlanta County Division of Public Health did was create brochures, breastfeeding pamphlets. I actually became a certified breastfeeding counselor. We do home visits and we do teaching.
You develop the resources that are needed to meet that need.
Yeah, the survey found that women started breastfeeding, but they had a tough time continuing it. So that's why we developed the support information.
So tell me, where can you get the survey?
You can access it online at our webpage, and you also can access it at our public libraries. And we are also going to be mailing out 3,000 to residents throughout the county, and this is areas within our 23 municipalities.
Is it also available in Spanish?
And it is also available in Spanish. It's 36 questions, and it asks a variety of questions. Where do you purchase your fruits and vegetables? Are you having difficulties accessing health screenings such as vaccinations, cholesterol, diabetes checks, things along that line?
So I encourage all the folks out there at home to please fill out the survey, very important.
Everybody's opinion is important to us. We have had it out for about a few weeks, and we need 1,200, which will represent a good number for our community. The more we receive, the more valid the information is. We currently have received about 500.
So this doesn't only help the county, right? This also helps other health providers as well.
Other partners. We developed this survey with the help of Atlantic Care, Shoremore Medical Center, Atlantic Prevention Resources, Healthy Mothers and Healthy Babies. We're really targeting at-risk populations. And based on the information that we receive, we'll share those results with those agencies so they can see also what may be working and where they need work.
Very good. Let's talk about some of the other services. And I know, Diane, you a nurse practitioner and also the assistant director of nursing. Tell me about some of the offerings that the county has for maintaining a healthy community.
So we offer a full range of preventative services that's available for both adults and children. We offer screenings, wellness information, counseling, and immunizations.
Now, how do people know about these services?
We have information on our website, and we have a newsletter that we actually distribute quarterly that has that information.
I just noticed you send me some in Spanish as well.
Yes, and we're hoping that you'll distribute it to your community. Right. It's really important. There's a lot of services there, and people just need to be familiar where they can access them. And immunizations is something that we think of children needing, right, but really adults need them too, because we want that to prevent that vaccine-preventable disease, like influenza, for instance.
Yeah, let's talk about that. As far as the vaccines, is there a schedule? And I know you don't just have it in one building. You do move around the county. Can you tell me a little bit about how you do that?
We offer it at various locations in the county, and that'll be coming out in September. And we also offer it daily at our building in Northfield, 201 South Shore Road, from 9 to 12.
So is this a cost to the residents, and do you have to sign up for them?
You don't have to sign up for them. It's a walk-in. We also actually have online if you want to complete an application for the vaccine online as well. But people can walk in, and Northfield Building in Stillwater, 201 South Shore Road, will be from 9 to 12. We also did blood pressure screenings as well, because that's important to keep in check. And if people can't pay, we do get vaccine from the State Department of Health. However, for everyone else, it's $15, except if you have a Medicare B card, and then we just charge that card.
So obviously, folks who need those services can arrange to go directly there, or even make a call to make an appointment and get those services.
They can, and if they're interested in receiving any other vaccinations that we have, or they're interested in receiving a cholesterol check, blood pressure check, diabetes, or scheduling a cancer screening, a mammogram, say that they don't have any insurance, we offer that as well.
So that's an important point. So regardless of your insurance, whether you have insurance or not, you still could get help. And is that a lengthy application, or How do you apply to get that?
If you have insurance, we'll provide education. As far as screenings, if you do have insurance, we recommend you actually connect with your healthcare provider because that's so important to have a medical home. Those individuals without insurance, we will take and we'll even refer them to healthcare providers and try to get them enrolled in insurance so that in the event that they do become ill, they have that connection.
Thank you, ladies, and certainly the survey is very important. I do want to encourage everyone to participate.
We're hopefully it'll be wrapped up by August 30th, so, get those surveys in.
Thank you for sharing that. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion. Welcome back to Latino Motion. For many families, there is a struggle to balance the care of their older family members with a busy work schedule. One option is to keep your family member close and still provide them with an active lifestyle, and appropriate care is an adult daycare. Joining me is Yolanda Cortez to tell us more about that. So, Yolanda, what is an adult daycare?
An adult daycare is a place where you can bring your loved ones to keep them aging in place.
Yeah, and aging in place is code.
Yeah, it's instead of putting them in a nursing home, you keep them at home and you send them out to a daycare, but then they go back home to their loved ones.
That's important for many Latino families that we usually have our parents with us, and we're finding that more and more of our baby boomers are coming to that age where they need to have a place to go during the day.
Place to go, yeah, to keep them busy with activities, and it's a medical day program, so they do get medical attention there too. Like they do, the nursing, they do provide like wound care, toileting, blood pressure, daily, weekly, monthly. We work directly with their PCP, so that way they can keep in progress what they are progressing in the daycare.
So I want to talk about something unique to your place, and that is that you have more than 50 Latinos that participate, which is great. I wish if my dad was still here, he would love to go where other Latinos are, because that's a way to socialize.
Yes.
And why is it so important to have the older adults active and socializing?
Because being home alone is kind of depressing for them.
Yeah.
And I think when they're home alone is when they get sicker, and depression and all that kicks in.
All right, there's a lot of studies that show that very thing. And certainly, if someone wants to enroll their loved ones, what's the process?
The process is, well, we do have a process. So the requirements are that they need to be needing specific ADLs because it is a medical program.
How about as far as funding? How is this paid for?
Well, unfortunately, Medicare does not cover a daycare service. Medicaid, most of the Medicaid programs do cover the daycare. The other one will be a VA benefits, private pay. There are a lot of programs out in the county that if they don't qualify, they assist. If they don't qualify for Medicaid, there are other programs that they can qualify for.
Right. So certainly there is some funding available. How do you get to the facility? I know you're located in Northfield.
We do provide transportation, curb to curb, and we do provide local transportation to the medical appointments.
Now, obviously, if someone needs to get in contact with yourself or someone else in the facility, we do have a number that we will.
Yes, we do. Our number is 609-383-3313, and our receptionist is totally bilingual, so we do have bilingual.
So I know that since you have other on-site services, including a dietary consultation,
Yes, we do.
you have any Latino food there? You guys, with over 50 members.
We do that. Yeah, we do that once in a while. Yes, at least once a month we do have Latino food.
You know, it's important that you have that you're meeting all their needs, certainly,
Yes.
including diet. How about when they're at the point where they need help with taking their own medication? You also provide those.
Well, we do. We do manage their medication too.
How often do you provide? What are the hours of the service?
Well, it's a 5-hour program. It's a 5-hour program. We actually we have 2 shifts, and it's an 8 to 1 and a 10 to 3.
Okay, so you could pick which schedule fits the family members. Tell me, what kind of response do you get back from family members who have their loved ones participating in the adult day care?
A great response because they see that we do take care of them, that we do provide them with the needs that they requires.
What are some of the activities you do to keep them active?
Oh, we do arts and craft, we do daily exercise, we do trips to the stores, banks, and we do birthday parties, theme parties, daily exercise.
So aside from the socialization, doing those activities also is very helpful for the health of older adults. I'm glad you're doing that as well. Yolanda, unfortunately, that's all the time we have, but I did want to mention something that you have upcoming, which is the open house. Community Health and Resource Fair is Tuesday, August 13th from 10:30 to 2:30. We'll put that up. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for joining us at home once again here on Latino Motion.
Choose to get your feet wet, to learn more about protecting our environment. Choose to read minds, to understand the human brain.
Choose to get your hands dirty, to create a masterpiece.
Stockton University offers 50 high-quality academic programs, small class sizes, and affordable tuition. Choose to match your interests and talents at one of New Jersey's nationally ranked universities.
Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, a member of Geisinger, Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world, and South Jersey Gas.